This will be totally fun. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a really funky practice gratitude success show. This is going to be probably the weirdest one I've ever done before. And Len Mooney is over here too. I don't know if you can see. There's Len. But Len, you almost pulled me over. Okay, here's the situation. Here's the situation, guys. I start off every day saying who I'm grateful for, and I'm going to just not do that right now because of Len wants or Jackson wants his money back. I want to say welcome to everybody who's here. First of all, I want to say I can't hear anything. I can't hear our co-host talking for some reason. So I'm going to say, if I see their lips moving, I'm going to stop talking. So it's really, we're just going to be the weirdest webinar that I've ever done. I'm trying to play with
my driver's license.
And you almost pulled. So goodbye, Len. We'll talk to you later. Len's got to go to the DMV. So anyways, welcome everyone. Welcome Matt, who's here. Matt does. He wrote a book on gratitude, and sort of. And Carolyn was here before. She wrote the book Gravitate to Gratitude. Great book. I haven't read Matt's book yet. This show is about Matt, but I invited Carolyn to come in too because I said we'll just have like a whole big gratitude party. These people are like pros. They're like oh my God, I'm looking up to these people. I talked to Matt for the first time last night. It's like so cool to be surrounded by people who are just doing it. I mean, they're authors. They're speaking. They're out there just doing this whole gratitude thing. So I'm so blessed to have both of these guys here. And I'm blessed everybody here today that's here. Jackson, Larry, Len Mooney, who just walked out. Chris, thank you so much for coming here. Nicole, a few other people that are here. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you guys talk because I can't hear you. So Matt, first of all, welcome. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. And you and Carolyn can kind of interview yourself because I can't hear. So I'm just going to back off and be here. All right.
This is cool. Listen.
So go ahead. I'll just be quiet.
We're big fans of rolling with it, right? So it's all good. It's all good, Bob. Yeah, thank you for having me. Matt O'Grady from MattO'GradyCoaching.com. I wrote a book called Living Gratitude: A Simple Path to Happiness, and it's all kind of neat because I just met Bob recently after I was interviewing Carolyn on my podcast. So it's all kind of fun how we're coming together and spending time together. I'm really excited about it. So thanks for having me today.
Yeah, no, thank you also from me, Bob. It's Bob and I met not that long ago, probably a couple of months ago, and because gratitude seems to gravitate to me, his daily gratitude posts were landing in my inbox, and we connected, and everybody who connects to him, and he sends out some incredible vibrational, medicine in the morning, and posts who he's grateful for, what he's grateful for, and of course, when you do that, you just attract more people to whom to be grateful for. So I'm very glad to be here. I was really, really honored to be interviewed by Matt on his podcast. So we're all coming together. Just I call us the Gratitude Warriors. So it looks like we have quite a few of you on the call at the same time. So welcome to everybody.
It's great. It's great. And Carolyn, since Bob's not going to kind of traditionally interview us in the way that he usually would, I've got a topic for us. So I always do this in my morning practice. I'm always thinking about my gratitude practice, how it informs my life, and how I can help my clients, my coaching clients, work it better into their lives, integrate it so it becomes part of their lives, and have it be that much more helpful to them. So I'm curious. I'm going to ask you questions, and you can feel free to ask me. But one of the things that I was really thinking about this morning is our imagination. We often think of gratitude practice and appreciation practice as something kind of that we do consciously, and we have an intention, and we focus on it, and we receive those vibrations you're talking about, and the experiences you're talking about. But one thing to kind of lighten it up a little bit, because sometimes I know self-discipline in the spiritual world and in the self-development world can sometimes be a little tough, a little much for people. So I like to think of a gratitude practice oftentimes as just part of our imagining. So as we start to think about our lives for what we've already experienced, what we're experiencing in the present moment, and what we'd like to attract in the future, I think that this idea of imagination is really exciting. Albert Einstein and so many great creatives throughout the centuries and millennia have talked about the power of the mind. And that's essentially what we're doing with a gratitude practice and an appreciation practice, focusing on the good and remembering that even when things aren't necessarily physically great in our lives. Like we may have an issue at work, we may have an issue in our relationships, and we may be struggling. What I think is really important to remember is this power of the imagination. Start to think about what you would like to experience. Start to think about these really beautiful dreams you have for your life, and be grateful for the dreams themselves. Be grateful for the imagination that you're able to put into your life, and start getting those vibrations going. So I was really curious what your thoughts were on that.
I love that. I love the imagery of it, just as you were speaking of it. It just brings a very calm, serene feeling, and that's what happens with gratitude. When you can incorporate the practice into your life, it takes your physiology, not just your mindset, but when you can take your imagination into a place, and you're the one who's in charge of where that mind goes, you can create a wellness environment for yourself that's the best preventative medicine on the planet. They're doing a study at University of California, Irvine, where they've actually tested people who had all sorts of physical challenges, health challenges, and they took the subjects and they asked them to write gratitude for 60 days, and they took all their vital signs before and after, and what they found is that just by writing gratitude, just by that awareness and creating that extra wellness in their life, they were actually able to reduce their stress levels, their blood pressure, got better, their cholesterol got better. So it's the science of gratitude wellness mixed in with how you have the power to control your thoughts and take your imagination to where you want it to be. So yes. I think if we can kind of look at both of those as preventative medicine, so that we get out in front of some of these diseases of the body, we can be in charge of our own health in ways that we can control. There's some things that may be beyond our control, but I think if we can get out in front of it a little bit more, I often like to think about using your imagination and dreaming while you're awake.
Yes,
right? It's
sure.
Like when you were a kid and you were in school and you were off dreaming and daydreaming, and the teacher always put you back on task and stopped you from the daydreaming part. I think we need to go back to doing that sometimes and just let our imaginations run a little wild, and it's amazing what happens when you do that. Right? I think Bob 100%. Is back. Are you back on, Bob?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
He's back.
Okay.
Awesome.
I got rid of Len Mooney. I think his energy his energy was so high. It was just sucking the life force up. I mean,
he's so magnetic.
He is. He's it's so cool though. But hey, thanks guys. This awesome. Just listening to you guys here, because it's just so cool what you're saying. What I say about gratitude is it's almost like cheating. It's almost like it's too simple. It's too easy. It's like it's almost feel like it's cheating. Because when you go there, you put yourself in this vibrational space where you just like everything just feels better. You start getting more good things coming to you.
Mm. It's true. It's alignment, right? I think it's alignment with who we really are. I think it's alignment with our soul's purpose and the real integration of the inside of us. Because as Carol and I were talking about, life is an inside game, and we learn these tools and tricks and tips and techniques and exercises and incorporate them into our daily practice when we start to realize that our life is us pushed out. It's our mind and our heart pushed out. What we see and experience in our lives is actually the inner experience of our lives, and then we see the physical representation of it on the outside. Sometimes people don't want to take accountability for that, but I think for any of us who have been in this long enough, we realize that is really the experience. Whether you use the analogy of the film and the light of life is coming through us and we're the film, and then we see the movie of our lives on the screen, we start to realize this. Why wouldn't we start being more grateful, more appreciative, imagining all the things that we want to experience in our lives? And once we start doing that, all of a sudden we're lifted up. Even when real physical things may not be going exactly how we'd like in our lives, as we start to imagine what is possible, that things can turn around, that our beliefs and our faith and our gratitude practice and all these pieces that we have available to us, as we start to truly and authentically incorporate them into our lives start to change, and it really is something that can happen instantaneously. And people think, oh, I got to study, pray, practice, visualize for years. That's not true. It really can happen within moments, minutes, days, and hours, right, Carolyn?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a habit. If you want to look at it from, from the traditional standpoint, like anything new that you want to, if you want to, create a better health for yourself, or you want to go on an exercise program, you want to study, or you want to become an Olympic athlete, it all starts with a new practice. And things don't happen overnight. I mean, you need to practice something and give yourself some momentum so it becomes a habit. When I wrote my book, I wanted to focus on writing every day, so the whole intention behind that is so that you are creating a new habit, like going to the gym. You're not going to see results by going once. It's by creating some momentum for yourself so that you can look back over your shoulder and say, wow, look, I do feel better, and look at that, I can see the results for myself. And I think that we're often like that as humans. We want to be able to see that we are, creating some sort of change for ourselves. And the beauty of gratitude is it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go out and get a gym membership. You don't have to go out and invest in anything that's a huge, big change in your lifestyle. You just have to go within. Matt was saying it before. Whether you're writing it, or you're meditating, or you're just getting quiet, you can do that anytime of the day. You wake up in the middle of the night. It's a great way to fall back to sleep if you can't fall back to sleep, just by calming your mind and focusing on what's working and what feels good. And the more you do that, it's amazing how your life will change. Like I would challenge any to just try it for a week. And a week, I can guarantee you'll want to extend out to the month, and before you know it, you'll be gratitude around you everywhere. You'll be noticing when people are kind to you that maybe you didn't notice before. You're going to notice that you're going to want to, be kind. I mean, gratitude is about feeling good. It's also about appreciating yourself and appreciating other people. So it's a two-way, like it's a give. So it's very powerful.
No doubt.
And I wouldn't say it doesn't cost anything. It costs me $1 like every year because I buy these index cards, and I write my gratitudes on
So that's an investment, Bob. It's an investment.
Exactly. It's not a cost. It's an investment. Exactly. And I want to comment on what you said, Matt. You said you can make it it's a choice. And then what Carolyn said, it's a practice. Well, it's both. It's both. You decide I'm going to do this. And then when it becomes a practice, becomes like a ritual, a habit where you have to do it like every day. It becomes you, where you get that unconscious consciousness where it's like I'm not gonna say like, oh, you know what? Damn it! Yes, I forgot to brush my teeth. No, I didn't. I'm never gonna forget to brush my teeth unless I'm out in the woods or the desert or someplace. Then there might not be anything to brush my teeth with. But when it becomes like every day, and it does take some time before it does become a habit, a ritual to build up to that place. But you can say, I'm gonna make that ritual, I'm gonna make that decision now, just instant, and then go there, move towards the things that are gonna help you, and away from the things that don't.
Makes sense, Bob. I think there's just hearing a little reverb there.
I'm not going to put my headphones on.
Okay.
I'm not going to do
it. With my clients, one of the things we do right in the beginning is incorporate something I call bookend. So when you first wake up, right before you go to sleep, like you said, Carolyn, 2 minutes. That's the only time investment you ask them to spend. You start this practice of being grateful for anything that's in your life. Over your head, the bed you're in, your clothes on your body, the breath moving through your body, whatever makes the most sense. And then you start to notice how your emotion change, your state starts to shift and change. And once it starts to shift and change, you're so much more invested in the process because you start to feel better. And I think what you're talking about with the practice makes perfect sense because ultimately we want to make sure that we're affecting our subconscious. And so this practice of gratitude and appreciation really starts to become who we are as opposed to something that we do.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself whenever I'm not speaking. So I'm playing around with. I'll be the control guy here. I'm my own control room here. So that's why I worded earphones. We don't have that problem, but I don't want to go back and blow the last 10 minutes of the show here. This is pretty cool. Hey, so before because we are only 10 minutes left of the show, it goes by so fast. Matt, tell us a little bit about unless you already said it, about your book and about the show
Sure.
that you do.
Sure. Well, essentially, I wrote a book because I was experiencing something in my 20s when I was in the military. I had some injuries, became a disabled veteran, and the thing that pulled me out of my deep depression was this gratitude practice. It was a little bit of light that I just kept following through on this tunnel of self-development and self-awareness and self-exploration. And as I started to practice gratitude more and more, and I started to get healthier physically, emotionally, and mentally, I realized what a gift I had been given. So I started practicing, incorporating it into my life, and for years and years I had friends, family, people. I own a digital marketing company, and clients telling me, well, you've got to tell your story. So essentially what I finally did up here, Living Gratitude book, Simple Path to Happiness, I created this book to talk about my story, how it changed my life, and how it's kind of turned into this whole podcast now that I've been doing for 6 years, and this coaching practice that was born from the podcast. I created the podcast just to have a space to speak with like-minded people and get to know myself and the practices better. And then all of a sudden I had podcast listeners calling in, hey, I want to hire you as a coach. I said, I'm not a coach. So I went on the path of becoming a coach and what that's going to be, and I've dedicated my life to it. So now gratitude and appreciation are just part of who I am. It's in every situation that I face in life, relationships, business, grief, faith, spiritual, I incorporate gratitude and appreciation, and working life through that filter changes everything because I'm always looking for the good in every situation, and that makes my life that much fuller and more enjoyable. Doesn't mean I still don't get sad or have issues to deal with. Of course I do. But when I come through that filter, I'm always hey, this isn't the easiest situation, but what's the good in it? What's the fun in it? What could be the fertile ground for something beautiful to be born in the situation that may not be that easy for me or others involved? And what happens is you become more of a solution mindset person. So you're always focused on what's going to be better, how it's going to evolve, what it's going to grow into, and exploring the solutions instead of exploring the problem, which just creates more problems. So that's a little bit about my story in the book, and I take people through that practice and technique in the book.
That's so awesome, man. And it's so simple, too, isn't it?
It is. We always joke, it's simple but not easy. So there's certain mental patterns, right, Carolyn? So there's certain mental patterns that we're going to have to shift and change over time, as we're all saying here. But you can get some really beautiful wins right in the beginning of the practice. So you just follow that simplicity of focusing on what feels good, your happiness, what you do have that's beautiful and wonderful in your life, and really milking it, really focusing on it. Write it down, talk about it, experience it, feel it deep in your heart, and all of this is going to start to continue to unfold so that you can experience it more deeply and have it become part of who you are instead of something that you do.
Milk it. I love that. I love that term.
Milk it out.
Yeah, milk it. But it's true because I'll often write whatever you appreciate appreciates. You get to people will say to me, well, I'm in this situation, I have this circumstance, and these are things that are happening on the outside of you. And a lot of people believe that they're controlled by what happens on the outside, but it's obviously it's the opposite, of course, right? We get to choose our thoughts, and we get to choose what we focus on. It's like if you're having a conversation and something, a big loud bang happens behind you, you're going to change your focus immediately to what you just heard. You can do that with anything. You can change your focus at any time. That's changed right now. So I mean, it's brilliant to be able to know there's a comfort there, to know that you actually can change your focus anytime that you want. And then when you begin to, look at your circumstances as just that, right? There's circumstances that challenge is going to just disappear because you're practicing gratitude. But as Matt said, the filter that you use to review it in your mind, the way that you process it, the way you speak to yourself, the messages that you send to yourself will be very, very different when you're consciously looking for something in that situation that, it's like the silver lining analogy. I mean, when my father passed away, well, how could I have gratitude there? Sleep. So I thought, well, there's gratitude there, right? And the kindness that people were showing to me and to my mother and to our family, I was very grateful right at the beginning, and it could have been very different, but I made the choice to find something that I could be grateful for in every moment of that journey that I took. So I think that's where we're very lucky if we're aware of it. Matt practices it, Bob practices it. I'm sure that most of you, practice it. When you do that, you're in charge of how the way you process it makes all the difference to your day.
Well, it's really beautiful. Larry in the chat is talking about how he used gratitude to get through the loss of a partner, and I think it's so beautiful when we're able to do that. The truth is, we're all going to die physically, right? And we're all going to lose people along the way, and especially the people that we're closest to. And it's truly one of the best gifts that we can ever receive is learning how to use that inner focus that we have to, even though physically someone might not be with us anymore, we may not be able to sit down and have a cup of coffee, but we can remember all the beautiful moments that we did have with that person and still feel all that love, and it might be even stronger in those moments, and you might connect with the energy of that person tremendously through that gratitude, love, and appreciation practice. Remember the beautiful moments of falling in love, the beautiful moments of holding one another and being together, because the truth is, in my belief system, this physical body is not finite. We can still experience things in other places and in other ways, especially as we start to learn kind of the real deep opportunities that are within our hearts. Our hearts are infinite and eternal, in my opinion. So gratitude is really just practice to open us up to all those really beautiful opportunities that can expand our lives. I've lost so many people, older people, family, younger people than myself, and I've certainly kind of had issues with it along the way, gotten angry and frustrated and confused. And this practice of remembering the beauty that I've had with them and the fact that I feel like I can still speak to them now and send my love to them, and I feel that they're receiving it through my gratitude practice has been one of the best things in my life, because I'm focused more on the abundance of my experience with them and the beauty of it than the loss of their physicality, and that keeps their love alive in my life. So, Larry, kudos to you and everyone else out there who, tries to step beyond the bounds of what we're typically taught, that when someone passes, that they're no longer accessible, they're gone, they're in heaven somewhere. They may be in heaven, and that's beautiful in and of itself, but that doesn't mean that they can't hear us and that we can't connect to our love with them. So I just wanted to share that piece. Good job, Larry.
I totally agree with that, Matt. Totally agree with that. There's so many people I've lost, like my mother, my brother, and I feel them all the time. They're always there. So they don't. The spirit doesn't leave us.
That's right.
That's so.
Yeah, those are really beautiful words and words to live by. I regularly connect with, most recently with the loss of my dad, and relied on his counsel still, and having those connection moments, and almost, spiritually knowing that he's right here, So we connect in a way that, is even sometimes we talk more often now than we did then. So there's comfort there, and I think that's what's important. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
No argument. We only get the good. We only get the good stuff now when they're gone. We don't get the conflicts, the resistance anymore. Just get their blessings.
It's true. It's completely pure once we shift it, and I think it's a great analogy for any aspect in our life that we wouldn't choose to experience. Obviously we wouldn't choose to lose the people we love most in our lives, but that doesn't mean that we don't have some command and ability to connect to the most beautiful, happy aspects of what the experience is. And we can do that in every area of our lives. And I think as we do more and more of it, we just get inspired to kind of take it to that next level, to have it keep evolving within us. And I know Bob and Carolyn know this as true. It's a completely infinite practice. So the more you invest in it, the more you're rewarded with the gifts and the beauty of it. So just keep going. If you get disturbed or have trouble, reach out to someone like Carolyn or myself or Bob and say, hey, can we chat? Can we hop on a quick phone call or whatever? I mean, yeah, I have my coaching clients and all that stuff, but I never turn anybody down. I'd be happy to talk with anybody who hears this video that wants to get to know more about this practice, because it's my mission and dedication to share this with as many people as I can in my lifetime. So I never turn anyone down. Reach out, hop on my email list at mattogradycoaching.com, and listen to the interview I did with Carolyn. Let's spend more time with one another, getting to know each other and really building this beautiful community.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. And so that's mattogradycoaching.com.
mattogradycoaching.com, thelivingratitudebook.com for the book specifically, but you can get to me at either spot. And I just really appreciate the opportunity. I'm honored to be here, and it was a ton of fun.
Carolyn, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
My website, I'll put it in the chat as well, is carolynflower.com. And all of my coordinates, my social media, they're all there. So feel free to connect with me anytime. Be happy to chat with you. And my book, the information about the gratitude book is also on it has its own landing page, but you can certainly get to see it from my website.
I will put all the links inside of the replay, so this way people will be able to get a hold of it. I'll put the description underneath the video. So make sure that if you could please just go in, and after, when the replay comes out a little bit later on, leave some comments, because this has been, I'm overwhelmed by the goodness of what you guys are doing there. It's amazing. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Always, Carolyn. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot more cool stuff together. It's going to be great.
Well, I'm going to see you guys a little bit later on today.
Right.
We will.
That's cool. Well, to everybody, thank you so much for coming here today. And I apologize for my technical challenges that I had here today. This is probably better off this way. Here are two really professionals get out there doing it, so it's pretty cool. So thank you so much for coming. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit later on today. And make sure you send me any links that you want in there. Yeah, send any links that you have, and I'll include those inside the YouTube video.
You got it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.